And I think just now you mentioned there are 4 million Christians in China, right?
In 1949.
4 million.
Yeah.
1949? And what do you remember now? Because I think compared with the 1.3 billion people in China,
Right.
how many Christians are there in China? And how can they transform in China? Because I just come from China, and I don't think Christians have so much power to transform China. So I'd like to know in detail how the Christian can transform China. And that's one question. And the other question is, I want to know, do they have any organization that can carry out the transformation in China?
Well, yes, they have several organizations. Well, we don't know, as I said, we don't know how many million Chinese Christians there are, but if it is between, let's say, 80 million and 125 million, that is already getting close to 10%. And it's a number that seems to be growing every year. Now, there is no census in China that proves that, and there's no official figures, but you go back to, for example, you go back to Chinese colleges, universities, and you make inquiries, how many Christian prayer groups or Bible study groups are on this campus? Oh, I don't know, 6 or 7. How many were there last year? 2 or 3. And if you see a pattern of growth in an area where you can get fairly reliable anecdotal evidence, it's certainly not going to be totally reliable statistical evidence, what you can see is a pattern of growth, an increase in the proportion of Christians to the population. If the population of China's Christians is 125 million, that's nearly 10%. If the number is increasing, it will reach a critical mass. And I think the experience of most countries in the world is when you get to 25% of the population believing in anything, whether it's believing in Nazi doctrine of Germany or communism or Christianity, 25% is a critical number that will change the society, because you will find individuals in key professions, the law, education, the media. For example, in the case of South Korea's population now is about 30% Christian. But, and that's statistically fairly easy to nail down. But before South Korea became 30% Christian, when it was about 25%, you began to see a very significant change. Just after the Olympic Games in 1988, I think it was, in Korea, South Korea went through political change. Its leaders were identified as Christians, and it made a very successful transition from a dictatorship to a democracy. Now, how is that possible? I think it's possible because people are willing to suppress their personal ambitions for the sake of a larger community. And I hope that is what is going to happen in China.
So you mean we have more Christians, then wait, you can change the political regime in China?
Eventually, yes.
And I doubt it, because I'm wondering if the Communist Party can allow this kind of thing happen.
Well, the Communist Party, there are some members of the Communist Party who will always resist this. But as I've said, the Chinese are very pragmatic. There are some Communist Party members, for example, provincial secretaries of the party, who have been asked, what do you want for your province? And they have said, we want more Christians. Now, why? Because on the whole, Christians who are in business don't cheat as much as other people.